Hello, this is Angela Alexander, Brown Angel Books and Coaching. I hope all is well with you today. Thank you for joining in. Before I get started, I wanted to let you know that we are currently scheduling for the Work Your Words workshop. To get on the schedule, you just send an email to brownangelbc@gmail. In the subject line, put workshop, and we will get back in touch with you. So today, oh my goodness, today I want to talk to you about conflicts classroom. Conflicts classroom. So I did not know that conflict was scheduling a class session with me as it was going on, but it was. So let me just let you know how this all started happening. So on Friday, I was talking to my son, my older son, Jalen, and I was talking to him about a class. So I'm in a certification program for urban youth, and this generation, the Gen Z generation, is what we've been talking about. And so I asked my son on Friday, son, is there anything that you want me to know about you that I don't already know? And the other question was, okay, so I'm kind of like an advocate between I talk to parents and I also talk to kids. And so, is there anything that you would want parents to know or that your generation per se would want parents to know? And so, his answer at the time was, I'm not sure. Let me think about it. All right. And so, I was like, okay. And so the next day, I was talking to a minister friend of mine, and I was telling her about this conversation that I had with him. And so she said, he's not going to be able to answer you. And so I just kind of, listened to what she said. And then she went on to say, your children are just different. And I kind of, that kind of stayed in my head. Like, what do you mean my children are just different? And I should have asked for clarification, but I just let it just go. And so I've heard different before in the sense that, okay, they're well behaved or what have you, but not just different. So anyway, so this was Saturday. So Saturday evening with my younger son, I go into his room. So now it's evening. I go into his room and I say to him, son, you got way too much stuff on this floor. You got to get this stuff off the floor. So tomorrow when you come from church, I want you to get all this stuff off the floor. Okay, mommy. Now, I want you to follow this story because it's going somewhere. We're going somewhere with this. I'm just laying the pieces down. And so he says, yes, I will get the stuff off the floor when I come from church tomorrow. Now it's Sunday. Now on Sunday, hi Donna, how are you? Good to see you on. So on Sunday, I'm taking the boys to lunch. It's now after church. And I asked the question again, but this time I asked it to my younger son. Son, is there anything that you want me to know about you that I don't already know? And then the second question is there anything that as an advocate, so I talk to kids and I talk to parents, that you think that parents should know about kids, right? And he was just kind of thinking about it. And he's like, I might have to get back to you on that one. And then this is when Jalen, my older son, says, Mom, I don't like it when I feel talked down to. And I said, oh, do I talk down to you? And he said, not really, and I said, have I talked down to you? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, when? What? So now at this point, I want details. And he couldn't give me an example. But so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, so there's a respect issue here. Because if someone feels like you're talking down to them, then they don't feel respected. And so I said, well, son, if I do that again, or when I do that again, tell me. But don't tell me in the moment, right? But come back and tell me. And I said, the reason that I want you to do this, and I oftentimes say to my kids, these are life skills. This is a life skill. I want you to come back and articulate to me, this is what you said. and this is how it made me feel. And I said, the reason I want you to do that is because a lot of adults can't do that. A lot of adults cannot tell you, this is what you did, this is how it made me feel, and this is what I want you to do. Okay. So what I'm telling you is a life skill, and I want you to keep that. And so he said, okay. So now it's Sunday evening, and I go into my younger son's room, and I look at the floor, and all of this stuff is still on the floor. The stuff that he told me the night before he was going to get cleaned up. But he and his brother, they're in there. It's kind of late, not real late, but kind of evening late. And they're playing, and they were getting along so well that I said, and so my younger son said, well, I did clean under the bed. And I said, just keep working on it, son. And I closed the door. So now it's Monday morning. And that conversation that I had with my son is like the Lord was just speaking to me that, you know what, you could have handled that differently because he told you he was going to do something and he didn't do it. And they were in there playing the game, right? And so it was just a thought, as I'm starting the day. And so the kids get up, to get ready for school. And he gets up about, 10 minutes to 7. And he has to be out by 7:45. This is Evan. So at 7:30, Evan comes to me and says, Mom, can you take me to school? Why? Well, I need a little bit more time because I don't have any clean pants or underwear. And so I felt this, like, wait a minute. You've been sitting down there all this time. And 15 minutes before your bus comes, now you're telling me that you need clothes? So listen, you're not going to be late for school. So the answer is I will take you, but you're going to find some pants and you're going to school, right? Now, the whole time, what is in my head is state the facts. State the facts. State the facts. Don't get into your emotion. Just state the facts. So the facts are that last night you were supposed to be cleaning your room and you did not. At minimum, because it's Monday, Monday's coming, you need clothes. At minimum, you could have done your laundry, right? And so you need to get up there, find you some pants. We're leaving here at 8 o'clock, right? And so I'm feeling all these different emotions, and I see him walking by and I see tears, right? And so I said, there's no reason to cry. We don't have a reason to cry. There's nothing to cry about. Get ready for school, right? Again, continue tracking with me, right? And so he comes down. So he's now, and so the whole time I'm saying this, I'm still helping him. I'm still helping him find stuff. I'm still looking. I'm still doing. I'm talking, but I'm doing. And I'm not raising my voice, but it's clear. I'm clearly annoyed, right? Rightfully so. So he gets dressed. He comes downstairs and he says, Mom, remember yesterday in the car when you said if we feel disrespected to let you know? Well, I'm feeling that way. And I'm upset, and it's like you don't even care. And so at this point, and I don't know if you've ever felt this, where there's a like that kind of laugh comes up, and it's not that something's funny, it's just that unbelievable type of laugh, like I know you didn't, right? And again, state the facts. And then he says, and I said, no, son, you know that that's not true, right? And he said, Mom, I gotta go to school, we can just talk about it later. I said, no, son, we're going to talk about this now. Go get in the car. All right. And so we get in the car, and I said to him, son, you can't blame this on me. Mm-mm. You are wrong. In this instance, you were wrong. You can't put this on me. Those were my words. You can't put this on me. You need to sit in this. Right? Here are the facts again. And I laid out each fact again. Right? And so when you get home, you will not turn that TV on or get on the computer. You will do your laundry and you will get the things off the floor. Is it understood? Yes, I understand. Okay. So I dropped him off. And the reason why this post is called Conflicts Classroom is because after I dropped him off, then the Lord started doing what the Lord does. And he says to me, all of those things, there's an area rather that I've been talking to the Lord about for a couple of months now, talking to the point of almost nagging that there's something that I've been wanting. And whenever I've heard that still small voice, why don't you send a message here? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Even writing the stuff down. You know how we write the vision and make it plain, right? Writing it down, believing it. The vision that you write down, it only comes to pass when you execute, not just because you wrote it, right? I've got my vision plan, a vision board, and all this stuff, right? No execution. Then binge watch the whole series on Netflix, play games on my phone, and he says, "You can't blame me for this. Here are the facts. Remember the show you binge watched 2 days? Remember that game you were playing? Remember when I told you to do this and you started scrolling on the internet instead?" See, this season right here is a lot of, and I've been hearing it everywhere, distractions, 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 getting so easily distracted. When the Lord speaks, it's not like this booming voice, not all the time. Sometimes it's that still small voice, that little tap on the shoulder, that little reminder. And all those reminders that you just overlooked, you can't blame me for this. And I sat with it. So when you get home, I want you, first of all, to clean. Because children copy what they see. And you have not been consistent with the things that you need to get done. Before the worlds were framed, I spoke, let there be light, let there be order, let there be. And when he spoke light, then it brought revelation, it brought light into the things that he wanted to do next. But he spoke order first before he put man in the garden. Before he executed, let's make man in our image, he first caused things to be in order. And he said, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to start putting things in order. Right. And so as I'm downstairs and I'm doing the floors and I'm doing all these different things, as I'm doing, he's yet downloading. Whew. He's yet downloading to me. Do this, and I'll write it down. And then I started listening. And so I want you to cut off a lot of the noise, because it's too much noise around you. So what I want you to do for the next 3 days is I want you to fast from all of the extra noise, whether it's the shows, whether it's the CNN, whether it's the news, whether it's all of this other stuff. And I want you to listen to wisdom in the area where you want to grow. And so for me, if you know anything about Brown Angel Books and coaching, we reset the mindset, because a lot of the things that we grew up with, the limiting beliefs, especially as it relates to our family, a lot of that needs to shift, because we're in several different generations now, from the generations of our families, the things that impacted them and how they raised us. So I want you to study mindset. I want you to study parenting. I want you to study, but get all of the extra stuff out of your ear. I want you to fast from that for right now, right? And as I was doing, he was yet downloading. The more I would do, the more he was downloading. And even with the mindset, the wisdom things that he was giving me, that I was listening to, he was still downloading. And it's like I've got pages of downloads of being in conflicts classroom, right? What is the conflict there to teach you, right? And so then my son comes home. And when he comes home, my younger son, he comes home and he's expecting, because when he left, I was like, this is what you need to do. And he doesn't know if mommy is angry. He doesn't know. And so he comes in and his posture is with the shoulder slumped, and he's waiting for that shame moment. He's waiting for the bomb to drop. He's waiting for all of that. And I'm sitting on the steps and I said, well, hi, son. And I'm looking at him. And this is one of the things that I want to say to us as parents, is that you've got to be so in tune with your kids that you see their body language. You see when they're looking at you wide-eyed. You see when they're afraid. He was afraid. He didn't know what was coming. And it's not that I'm a big yeller, or not even that I was yelling at him in the morning. I was stern with him. I was matter of fact with him. One of the things that we've got to remember is to state the facts and state what you want. State the facts and what do you want? Not you didn't do this and you always, and every time I turn around and all that extra stuff. Because when we are up in what I call the Sopranos, when we're up there and we're yelling and we're just doing all of this stuff, the cortisol level in the person that you're talking to is spinning, and they're looking for, what do they want? What do they want? What do they want? What do they want? And you're still yelling. And the brain is trying to put all that stuff together. How do I fix this? How do I solve this? What do they want? What's the resolve? What's the resolve? What's the resolve? And if you keep yelling, they're just sitting there. You ever notice they look like deer in headlights? Yeah. State the facts and state what you want. I'm gonna get back to my son in a minute, but it makes me think about this interview that these coaches did with me some weeks ago, and they were trying to help me, right, to get focused on my coaching business, right? And I was all over the place because I had been listening to so much stuff that I'm trying to piece the stuff together. They're trying to help me and they can't even figure out what to do with me because I'm all over the place. It was wasted time. It wasn't completely wasted, but I couldn't even listen to the interview to go back to it because I wasn't together. When you want someone to do something or even to help you do something, you need to have some time with yourself and figure out what you want, because nobody can help you if you don't know what you want, especially your family. So getting back to my son, I greeted him with love, and he felt that love. And it was a combination, a balance of love, and this is what you need to do. You need to, just like what we said, is that don't turn the TV on, don't get on the computer. You need to get your laundry done, and you need to get your room clean, right? And so he was like, "Okay, mom." And I think I need to get rid of this table, and I think I need to do this. And now his ideas are flowing of what he needs to do. And I wasn't looking for perfection, but even a certain time, he was like, "Oh, mom, I went over time making my lunch. I can't get to it," because he said he was going to start at 4. "I can't get to it at 4. And I said, "Son, the objective wasn't for you to start at 4. The objective was for you to start." And so what I want to say to you as I am about to wrap this up is that the objective is not for you to be in perfection. The objective is getting to the facts when you need something and what your statement is. And getting to that point where you silence out all of the noise, even the noise in you, right? Because the feelings are going to come. Mindset reset is not about them. It's about you. The coaching program that I have is about the parent, is about the individual, you as the parent. And when you start getting the resets happening in you, then it's almost like the domino effect that will happen with your family. It starts with us. Okay. So that's what I wanted to share. That is what's in Conflicts Classroom. And so I'm kind of on a timeout with the Lord with a whole lot of whole lot of the noise. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Shut out all the noise. Get focused on what you want so that you can articulate it well. And again, I want to let you know that we are scheduling workshops with the SPEAK acronym. SPEAK stands for Seen, Heard, and Valued. P is promote positivity. E is execute the steps. A is affirm, and K is keep takeaways. And before we do any of that, we start with our intention. So I should change it to I speak. But if you want to do, I want this year, I am doing not just live online, but I'm also doing in person workshops. If you feel like you want to invite me to do a live workshop at your organization, your church, or wherever, just send a message to brownangelbc at gmail. In the subject line, put workshop, and we'll see how we can help you. So I am Angela Alexander. This is Brown Angel Books and Coaching. Do make it a great day.